Welcome to the channel Darkness in the Night. I'm Kang, the one who used to live in apartment 3B. Block 727 Tran Hung Dao. It's been 7 years, yet every time I close my eyes, I still hear that cry at 2:13 a.m., a sound that lingers like a scar time can never erase. I returned there in July 2023. The city was soaked in rain. Tran Hung Dao Street gleaming under dull yellow lights. The 727 building still stood, old, cracked, with walls peeling like scorched human skin. The air reeked of dampness and dead rats. I stepped inside, my heart pounding. Each footstep echoed against the cement floor, sending chills down my spine. No one lives on the 3rd floor anymore. People say it's sealed off. Yet the iron door of 3B was slightly ajar. I couldn't understand why, almost as if someone was inviting me in. I stood still for a few seconds, listening to the rain tapping outside the corridor. Then, inside my head, a familiar whisper surfaced. "Take me home." I chuckled softly, though my lips trembled. I already did. My voice cracked, faint as the wind slipping through a keyhole. The rusted door creaked open. The room was still small and damp. The black burn mark on the mezzanine had been painted over, yet faint stains emerged whenever the flickering light hit. Goosebumps rose across my skin. I looked around. Cold air seeped through the window slats, carrying faint moans. The corner wall, where I once found the urn, had been plastered smooth with cement. But in the weak yellow light, I swear I saw a dark wet stain spreading out, like blood seeping from within. I stepped back, my throat dry. Then came the knocking from upstairs. Talk, 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 slow, rhythmic. No one should be there, I knew that. I had burned the rain, scattered the ashes into the river. Yet my heartbeat quickened, sinking with the knocks. Trembling, I looked up. Who's there? Only the wind, but a woman's voice drifted down, barely more than a breath. "Why did you come back?" I froze. That voice, I could never forget. Warm yet raspy, as if scorched from within. I climbed the stairs, each wooden step creaking. The smell of old smoke grew stronger. In the middle of the loft lay something small, round, glinting silver among the dust. I bent down. A ring. A silver ring. I dropped to my knees, breath quick and shallow. The nape of my neck went ice cold. My hands trembled uncontrollably. I tried to back away, but the attic door slammed shut. My phone's flashlight flickered, then went out. In the dark, I heard bare footsteps on the wooden floor. Slow and deliberate, each step made a scratching sound, like burnt skin dragging across the planks. I tried to speak, but my throat locked tight. A cold breath brushed the back of my neck, heavy, suffocating. Then a hand touched my shoulder, so cold my skin shrank away. I screamed and bolted down the stairs, slipping and crashing hard. My phone flew from my hand, the screen lit for a moment. In that light, I saw it, a face blackened by fire, hair white as ash, staring down at me. 2 hollow eye sockets leaked thin trails of smoke. "Don't leave me?" The voice didn't come from her mouth, it came from inside my head. My body froze, my mouth opened but no sound came out. Suddenly, the door of 3B burst open. The hallway light spilled in, and everything vanished. I ran outside, gasping for breath. The night wind lashed against me, carrying the smell of smoke and burnt hair. When I looked back, 3B was shut tight again. No light, no one there. But when I glanced down, the silver ring was lying in my palm, cold. I threw it away. It rolled, clinked a few times, then stopped, its engraved side turning toward me. Under the flickering light, faint words appeared. Lan, Kang, 1972. I never engraved those words. This ring wasn't mine. A strong gust burst through the hall, lights flickering violently. Then came soft laughter, a woman's voice. Distorted, half sobbing, half laughing. I bolted out of the building, rain slashing my face like blades. Yet no matter how far I ran, I still heard the wet, slapping footsteps behind me, steady, following, as if someone was walking right beside me in the dark. And when I turned back, There, at the window of the third floor, stood a pale figure watching me. Her burnt hair fluttered in the rain, her hollow eyes fixed on me. The silver ring still gleamed in my hand, though I was sure I had thrown it away. I knew then, she never left. She came back. I still don't understand how it happened. I threw it away. I saw it roll down the hallway floor with my own eyes. Yet when I woke up the next morning, it was neatly placed on my bedside table, shining, spotless, as if someone had just polished it. I stared at it for a long time. Morning light slipped through the window, glinting off the ring's surface, reflecting my face, distorted, stretched, unnatural. And then her voice came again inside my head, soft as breath. "Take me back?" I jolted upright, drenched in cold sweat. The ring lay still, but somehow, I could feel it, watching me. That day, I went to see Ms. Huyen, the woman who once helped me years ago. Her cafe was tucked away behind an old row of houses in District 7. The faint scent of incense lingered in the air, yet I found it hard to breathe. She looked at me, her gaze cold as water. "Why are you still keeping it?" I swallowed hard, my voice trembling. "I threw it away, it came back on its own." Her brow furrowed, her tone deepened. "Room 3B isn't at peace. That spirit, she's no longer Lan. When ashes in the vessel are disturbed, a soul can turn into a demon." I said nothing. Outside, rain poured heavier, drumming against the tin roof. Each drop echoed in my head, "Talk, talk, talk," just like that night. Ms. Huyen pulled out a yellow paper talisman, scribbled something, folded it, and slipped it into my pocket. "Tonight, burn the ring, read what I've written, and remember, don't look up at the loft, no matter what you hear." My hands trembled as I held the paper. The incense scent in the cafe suddenly turned sharp, like burnt flesh. She pressed her palms together, eyes shut. "Something followed you here. Leave, now." I stood up, feeling an icy presence closing in behind me. As I opened the door, a gust of wind blew in, snuffing out all the candles. In the glass reflection, my silhouette flickered, and behind me, I caught the faint outline of white hair. That night, I returned to my rented room in Nabi. I placed the ring on a metal plate, sprinkled salt, poured a bit of rice wine. My hands shook as I lit the match. The room reeked of dampness, just like 3B. I began reading the words on the yellow paper. The wind picked up, windows banged, lights flickered wildly. As the flame caught, the lamp went out. In the darkness, I heard it, a soft, muffled sob, rising from beneath the floor. "Don't burn it." The voice was frail, trembling. Instinctively, I looked up, forgetting her warning. In the corner sat a crouched figure, hair covering her face, shoulders quivering, chunks of charred skin peeled off, dropping onto the tile one by one. I froze, backing away in horror. "I'm so cold?" The words trembled, drawn out. Then she lifted her head. Burnt, blistered face, hollow black eyes. I screamed until my throat tore. The flame on the plate died out, but the silver ring glowed red, like burning coal. I hurled the plate toward the door and bolted. Just as my hand grabbed the doorknob, another hand clamped onto my wrist, freezing cold. I spun around, nothing there. Only a streak of red liquid smeared across the floor, trailing from where the ring had fallen to where I stood. I yanked the door, but it wouldn't budge. The lights blinked, on, off, on again, and with each flicker, she was closer, closer, smoke rising from her scorched hair. "I told you, don't leave me." I fought and screamed. Then the door burst open and I fell into the hallway. When I looked back, the room was empty. No shadow, no ring, nothing. I crawled to the steps, panting, when a sound echoed behind me, a faint metallic clink, clink. I turned. On the concrete floor, the silver ring rolled slowly toward my feet and stopped, perfectly still. I didn't touch it. I just stared as tears welled up. Maybe part of me still pitied her, the burned body left forgotten in that loft years ago. But something in those eyes wasn't human anymore. I couldn't sleep that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I heard nails scraping the wall, soft sighs, and faint laughter whispering from my coat pocket, where the ring now lay. Though I swear I left it outside. By morning, I found a long bruise across my neck, thin, like the marks of a hand tightening. I knew then, she had found her way back. And this time, she wasn't coming alone. Ever since the night the ring came back, nothing around me has been the same. It wasn't just the sounds or the flickering shadows anymore. It was her voice. It slipped into every breath, every dream, even in broad daylight. At first, I thought it was just exhaustion, the lack of sleep, tiny noises, like someone breathing behind my neck. Then came a whisper, soft, familiar, almost tender. "Kang." I spun around. No one there. The room was still, only the old ceiling fan creaking faintly. I told myself it was stress. But then, when I opened the refrigerator, a wave of cold air burst out, and on the frosted wall inside, droplets of condensation formed twisted letters, "Don't leave me." The can slipped from my hand, clattering onto the floor. Cold sweat crawled down my spine. I stared at the words until they faded away. Outside, the rain fell again. The damp smell of rust and mildew filled the air. Through the rainfall, her voice came, distant but clear, whispering right next to my ear. "It's raining again, Kang, raining like the night I died." I shouted, pounding the wall, my throat raw, but the more I screamed, the softer her voice became, almost soothing. "Don't be afraid, I'm just cold." I didn't sleep for nights. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw myself standing in room 3B again, the air thick with burnt smoke. She sat beside me, face charred, hair covering half her face. Every time I stepped back, she moved closer. Every time I turned away, she whispered right against my ear. I would jolt awake, drenched in sweat. The silver ring still sat on my desk, gleaming faintly in the dark. At first, I thought nothing of it, but then I noticed. It moved. Every time I woke up, it was in a different place. On the nightstand, in my jacket pocket, and once, nestled between my hands as I slept. That morning, I looked into the mirror. My eyes were sunken, skin pale, but something was wrong. The reflection didn't move when I did. It just stared back at me, wide-eyed. Then it smiled, a slow, unnatural grin stretching to the ears. The toothbrush slipped from my fingers. When I bent to pick it up, the reflection kept staring, that smile frozen. I turned around, nothing. Just the empty room. I threw a cloth over the mirror. I couldn't bear to look anymore. I went to find Ms. Huyen again, but her cafe was closed. The neighbor said she'd moved away the week before, because a strange woman kept standing outside at night, long white hair, eyes black as coal. My knees almost gave out. That night, I took sleeping pills. I just wanted one night of peace. But as the medicine dulled my senses, I heard it, scratching at the door. Soft, persistent, then footsteps circling my bed. I tried to open my eyes but couldn't move. It felt like something was sitting on my chest. Heavy, cold, her breath brushed against my face. "Do you remember me?" I trembled, paralyzed. Her nails traced along my chest, ice cold. "You left me? I was so lonely." I couldn't scream. Tears spilled instead. She leaned close, her burnt face inches from mine, her breath smelling of smoke and blood. "I'll stay with you, forever?" When I woke, daylight filled the room. I was lying on the floor. My shirt was torn open at the chest. 5 long scratches etched into my skin, bleeding faintly. Everything looked normal, silent, still, but on the table sat 2 cups of coffee, steam rising from both. One cup placed across from my seat. Inside it, the silver ring, glowing softly, smoke curling up like from hot coals. I broke down crying. I didn't know if it was fear or pity. Maybe both, because no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't escape her. Every time I closed my eyes, she came. Every time I woke, she left behind something small, a whiff of smoke, a drop of water, or the ring. And tonight, as I tell you this story, I can hear footsteps, slow, wet, getting closer. They stop right outside my door. I don't dare turn around, because I know if I do, I'll see her standing there, smiling. And this time, I'm not sure she's human anymore. I'm Kang, and I returned to apartment 727 Tran Hung Down nearly a month after leaving it behind. I thought distance would silence her voice. But the farther I went, the clearer it became inside my head. Every night I dreamed of that hallway, the flickering yellow lights. The air thick with smoke and blood. Deep down, I knew she was still there. When I came back, the apartment looked the same. The old lock clicked open with a dry snap. Inside, the air was freezing, though the sun outside burned hot. The black scorch mark from that night still stained the floor. I stepped in, shut the door, and heard slow drips of water from the sink. The heavy, moldy smell clung to my skin. I started cleaning, trying to bring life back into the place. But the more I scrubbed, the stronger the feeling grew, that someone was watching me. Every time I turned, my shadow stretched longer across the wall, until it nearly touched the ceiling, and I stopped, heart pounding. That night, I turned on the bedside lamp, but the light flickered halfway, then died. I sighed, sat on the bed. From the hallway came the sound of shuffling slippers, slow, dragging. Who's there? No answer. I opened the door. The hallway was empty, lit by a dim, trembling glow. But when I looked down, under the neighbor's door, apartment 3B, I saw a hand. Thin, dry, fingers blackened as if burned. It twitched, tapped the floor 3 times, then disappeared. I slammed the door and leaned against the wall, heart racing. You came back? The voice drifted through the air, faint as a breeze. I spun around, nothing. But the silver ring on the table rolled once, then stopped at the edge, catching the dull light. My hand shook as I picked it up, ice cold. I've been waiting so long. The voice filled the room, seeping through the walls. I covered my ears, but it kept whispering inside my skull. I rushed to the window and flung it open. Wind blasted in, thick with a metallic stench. Down in the courtyard stood a figure, staring up at me. Her hair hung in clumps, her white dress stained with blood. Slowly, she raised her arm and pointed at me. I don't know how I stayed standing. Her face, burned, cracked, lips dark and trembling soundlessly. I collapsed, clutching the ring. When I looked again, she was gone. Only the smell of smoke lingered in the wind. I staggered into the hall. The door to 3B was slightly open. From inside came the steady dripping of water. Is someone there? No response, just the sound of a chair dragging. Then bare footsteps moving slowly. I stepped back, but the door creaked wider, revealing darkness inside. The stench hit me, sharp, rotten. A dark wet trail spread across the floor, reaching all the way to my feet. I turned on my phone's flashlight and shined it in. The room was empty, except for a large mirror standing against the wall, thick with dust. But in the mirror, I saw someone standing right behind me, long hair covering her face, a bony hand resting on my shoulder. I screamed and spun around, nothing. But my shirt was damp and cold where she'd touched me. I ran. The apartment door slammed shut behind me with a hollow thud. That night, I packed my things and left, renting a small room across town. I thought I was safe. But around midnight, just as I began to drift off, there it was again, 3 knocks. Slow, steady. I got up, voice shaking. Who's there? Silence. Then something slid under the door. I looked down. The silver ring, wet, glistening. Beside it, a small crumpled note, ink smeared and crooked. My apartment is yours now. I dropped the paper, every muscle frozen. Outside, the sound of dragging footsteps returned. Louder, closer. This time, they stopped right outside my door. I know now that coming back to that apartment was a mistake. Ever since the night the ring appeared outside my rented room, peace has abandoned me. Those 3 knocks, slow, steady, come every night, repeating like the heartbeat of something long dead but still restless. I began hearing strange noises inside the wall. Not rats, not dripping water. It sounded like someone scratching, slowly, deliberately. At first distant, then closer, closer. I pressed my ear against the wall and heard it. Breathing, heavy, ragged breathing, like someone trying to crawl through the cracks between the bricks. I stumbled back, heart racing. "Don't leave me?" The whisper came right beside my ear. I screamed, slamming my fists against the wall. "What do you want from me?" No answer, only a hoarse laugh echoing from within the wall, growing louder until I almost lost my mind. The next morning, I went to see old Mr. Tam, the aging security guard at the 727 building. He looked at me with tired eyes, like a man who already knew too much. "You shouldn't have gone back. Son, that place isn't a home anymore. It's a prison." "Prison? For who?" He exhaled a slow cloud of smoke. "For her soul. They rebuilt that wall many times. But every night, the crying comes back. Some say there's a hollow space inside. If anyone breaks it open, she'll follow them for life." My voice shook. "Has anyone ever opened it?" He didn't answer, just looked down at my hand, where the silver ring lay cold and gleaming. "If you're holding that, the wall's already open." That night, I went back to my room, trying to ignore his words. But the scratching grew louder. I pulled the bed aside, shone my flashlight along the cracked plaster, and there was a streak of dried blood. From the crack, fresh drops seeped out, slowly trailing down. I collapsed to my knees, panicked. "What do you want me to do?" Silence. Then, a faint tremor ran through the wall. From inside, a voice whispered, "Open." I leapt up, grabbed the hammer from the corner, my hands slick with sweat. I swung hard. The plaster shattered, fragments raining down. Inside wasn't brick, but a hollow space. I shined the light in, and froze. Two eyes stared back at me. Wide, empty, milky white. I fell backward, the hammer clattering to the floor. From the gap, a charred hand shot out, gripping my collar, pulling tight. "Let me out?" I struggled, choking, kicking at the floor. Finally, I tore free, collapsing to the ground, coughing violently. When I opened my eyes, the room was dark again, silent, as if nothing had happened. But on the wall, a black handprint remained, burned into the surface like soot. I curled up in the corner until morning, too terrified to close my eyes. When the sunlight crept in, I saw words scrawled on the floor in charcoal. "If you won't open it, I'll find another way out." Since that day, I haven't slept. Every time I turn off the light, I hear bricks shifting, faint breaths right behind me. And tonight, as I'm telling you this story, I can hear the scratching again. Inside the wall. And it's getting closer. I can't run anymore. After the night I heard the scratching in the wall, I decided to return to 727 one last time to end everything. Not because I was brave, but because I finally understood, no matter where I went, she would always find me. I came back on a rainy afternoon. The courtyard was deserted, only the faint drip of water leaking from the roof. The air reeked of smoke, thick, suffocating, like an old crematory. Apartment 3B was locked, but the moment my hand touched the knob, the door creaked open on its own, as if it had been waiting. Inside, everything was covered in dust, except for a set of wet footprints leading across the floor. I followed them. They stopped in front of the large mirror. This time, the glass wasn't foggy, it gleamed, spotless, freshly wiped. I looked into it, and saw myself. But behind me stood another figure. She didn't move when I did. Her head tilted slightly, her hair hanging limp, her skin blackened and peeling. The smell of burned flesh filled the room, thick and heavy. "You never brought me home?" The whisper came, not from the mirror, but from inside my head. I clenched the silver ring in my fist, my hand trembling. "I burned you. Why are you still here?" She didn't answer. Her head tilted farther, her lips stretching into a crooked smile that split to her ears. From the mirror, her charred hand reached out, slowly, touching my face. It was icy cold at first, then burning hot like live coal. I stumbled back as the mirror began to tremble, the reflection twisting and warping. I heard her crying, her sobs mingling with the howling wind. Then suddenly, everything changed. I was no longer in the ruined apartment. I was standing in room 3B, but from 1972. The room was whole again, wooden table, open window, the faint yellow glow of an oil lamp. Lan sat in the corner, eyes filled with tears, trembling as she held the silver ring. They burned me, but my soul got trapped inside the mirror. She looked up at me, tears rolling down her scorched cheeks. You can set me free, just take my place inside. I stepped back, horrified. No, I won't. She stood up, moving toward me, every step heavy, smoke curling from her burned body. I've waited 50 years, and only you can hear me. Something yanked me from behind. My back slammed against the mirror. My body stuck fast, as if being swallowed. I screamed, thrashing, but blackened hands from the other side gripped my wrists. The glass was freezing, then burning hot. My skin blistered. The smell of searing flesh filled my lungs. Lan's voice whispered, "Now you'll understand what it means to never find peace." I fought with everything I had, lifted the silver ring, and smashed it against the glass. A deafening crack exploded. Everything went black. When I woke, I was lying in the shattered remains of the room. The mirror lay in pieces all around me. No one else was there. Only thin wisps of white smoke floated through the air, carrying the scent of ashes. I crawled toward the largest shard of glass and looked into it. In the reflection, she was there, standing right behind me, smiling. But this time, I couldn't turn around. The mirror no longer showed the room, only my face, and her burned black eyes staring out from within. Now, I'm speaking to you, through this voice. But if you listen closely, between the silences, you'll hear a faint scratching sound. That isn't a sound effect. That's me, tapping on the glass, trying to get out. Because apartment 3B is mine now. If you're hearing my voice, it means you opened the right file, the one I sent to a stranger before I disappeared. I'm Kang, or rather, what's left of him. After that night, apartment 3B was sealed off. They said someone had broken in, but no one ever saw me leave the building. My body was never found. The mirror vanished too, leaving only the lingering stench of burnt flesh down the hallway. The police came, cleaned up, and hung a sign, "Not for rent." But I know better. No one can ever really clean this place. 3 months later, someone new moved in. A young woman named Tran, a final year architecture student. She got it cheap. No one else dared to live there. I saw her the first time she turned on the light, the glow spilling through the cracked window, right where I stood. Inside the broken mirror, watching from the dark. She didn't see me. She just smiled faintly at her own reflection. The scent of her perfume drifted through the air, mixing with the musty smell of the old walls. That night, she went to bed early. I watched her from the mirror, and for reasons I couldn't explain, I felt pity. Maybe because I was once like her, thinking this apartment was just a temporary stop before my life fell apart. Wind whispered through the cracks. The bulb flickered weakly. She stirred, half asleep, and mumbled, "Who's there?" Her voice trembled, but I didn't answer. I wanted to warn her, tell her to leave, but every time I tried to speak, something gripped my throat tight, choking the words back down. Around midnight, she sat up suddenly, crying. She heard someone crying, close, right beside her ear. She turned on the light, looked around, saw nothing, but in the mirror, she saw me, standing behind her. "Who are you?" She stepped back, panicking. I raised my hand, trying to signal her not to be afraid, but the mirror began to tremble, its surface rippling like water. From within, another hand emerged, charred, blackened. Not mine. Hers. Lan's. "You're not done yet." Lan's voice hissed, echoing through the room. Tran fell, screaming. I pounded the glass from the inside, desperate to stop her, but that burnt hand had already tangled in the girl's hair. She trembled violently, struggling to break free. I shouted, "Run!" Somehow, she heard me. She burst through the door, sprinting down the corridor, but before she reached the stairs, the building's power cut out. Darkness swallowed everything. I heard her footsteps pounding down the hall, her ragged breath, the slap of her sandals on tile. She ran. I couldn't. I was still trapped inside the mirror, bound to that cursed room. Lan's laughter followed, fading into silence. The next morning, they found Tran collapsed in the hallway. On her neck was a strange burn, shaped like the lick of a flame. When she woke, she remembered nothing, only muttered that someone in the mirror was calling for help. They sealed apartment 3B again. And me, I'm still here, only now, the reflection has changed. I don't see myself anymore. I see Lan, smiling, from the other side. And I'm the one outside. Maybe I took her place. Maybe that's what she wanted all along. But what truly terrifies me is that tonight, I saw Tran return. She was holding a brand new mirror. And she whispered softly, "I can hear you, inside. I brought you back." Her voice trembled, but her eyes, there was something strange in them. Not fear, something softer, pity, even tenderness. I wanted to scream, to tell her to drop the mirror and run. But my throat was clogged with smoke. I could only watch through the fogged glass as her face blurred more and more. That night, she lit a candle in front of the mirror. The tiny flame flickered, throwing warped shadows across the walls. The smell of melting wax mingled with the damp rot of the old apartment. Thick enough to choke on. She closed her eyes and whispered something under her breath. Then I heard her say, "If you're really here, show me." I froze. Inside the mirror, a wisp of white smoke began to rise, like breath. I wanted to back away, but I couldn't. I just watched as she placed her palm against the glass and smiled. "I knew you were in there." From deep within, I heard Lan's faint laughter. No other voice, just hers. I saw her shadow take shape behind Tran, thin, blackened, her body scorched but her eyes glowing unnaturally bright. Lan's whisper drifted through the dark. "It's open now." The mirror shuddered violently. The candle flame danced wildly, then went out. The room plunged into darkness. Wind howled, and Tran's scream cut through it. "Who's pulling me?" Her voice broke, tangled with the crash of falling objects. I saw her reflection dragged backward toward the mirror. Hair flying, hands clawing helplessly. I pounded from inside, shouting, "Don't let her touch you." My voice echoed, distorted, as if rising from underwater. But she heard me. She tore free, flung the candle aside, and switched on the light. The room froze. Lan was gone. Only the cracked mirror remained, and Tran's heavy breathing in the silence. She sank to the floor, crying, "I just wanted to help you." Her voice trembled. I saw a fresh burn mark on her wrist, dark red, shaped like the silver ring. I wanted to thank her, but then I realized someone else was laughing inside my throat. A dry, hollow sound that wasn't mine. "Did you really think you were still, you, Kang?" I turned toward the mirror. My reflection had begun to blur. My face warped, the skin mottled and burnt. And beside me stood Lan, smiling, satisfied. From behind her, my shadow reached out and placed a hand on Tran's shoulder. She startled, glancing back. "Kang." Her voice quivered. I could only watch, powerless. The mirror started trembling again. Lan turned to me and whispered, "It's her turn now." I screamed, trying to stop it, but in that instant, I understood. To escape this place, someone had to take my place. And Tran, poor Tran, had just laid her hand on the mirror again. The candle burst into flame. No wind, no spark. The light flared, reflecting off her vacant eyes. Lan's smile faded as she vanished into the dark. Now there was only me and Tran, inside the same mirror. But the most terrifying part is, I don't know who's left outside anymore. I'm Kang, or maybe what's left of his final memory. Telling you this, after the night Tran placed her hand on the mirror, everything changed. When I opened my eyes, I was no longer inside the mirror. I was outside. The room was the same, dark, damp, heavy with the stench of smoke that clung to the wood. But something was wrong. Tran sat motionless before the mirror, her head tilted at an odd angle, eyes empty. She looked at me and smiled. "You finally got out?" Her voice was soft as breath, but there was something cold, hollow behind it. I stepped back. "Tran?" She tilted her head, hair falling across half her face. smiling slowly. No, I'm the one who's free now. When she raised her eyes, I saw it. The brown color was gone. Pitch black, empty. And in those pupils, the reflection of Lan's face. I understood then. Lan had taken over her body. And me, the one standing outside, wasn't human anymore, just a remnant of a trapped soul, temporarily released. I ran forward, trying to pull Tran away from the mirror. But my hands passed right through her. Cold, weightless. I had no body left. Tran, or what wore her shape, stood up and faced the mirror. Finally, it's my turn to live. She touched the glass, smiling faintly. Inside, I saw the real Tran, beating on the glass. Terrified, screaming soundlessly. I shouted, but she didn't hear. Lan turned toward me, her eyes full of contempt. You pity her? You're no different from me. Everyone who steps in here pays the price. I clenched my fists, forcing my voice out. You're dead. Lan, stop hurting people. Her lips curved. I died, but pain doesn't die. My lover betrayed me, burned me alive. You think I could forget? The room grew hotter. Smoke seeped from the cracks in the walls. The air sizzled with the sound of fire crawling. I saw Tran inside the mirror, sobbing, begging for help. I knew what I had to do. I lunged forward, wrapping my arms around Tran's body, shouting, if you need someone to replace her, take me. The smoke surged. Flames burst across the room. The mirror shattered with a deafening crack, shards scattering like sparks. And then, nothing. When I opened my eyes again, daylight poured in. The apartment was scorched, littered with fragments of mirror. Tran was gone. Only the silver ring remained, glinting faintly, engraved with the words, soul for soul. I stepped toward the largest shard and looked into it. What I saw wasn't me, and it wasn't Lan. It was Tran, smiling softly. But in her eyes flickered a pale white flame. I'm here, Kang. Her voice was gentle, too gentle. It chilled me. I stumbled back, crashing against the wall, trembling. That's when I saw it. My hand was fading, turning transparent. I no longer existed. From the mirror, her voice came one last time, using my own voice. Now it's your turn to be inside. The glass cracked. The candle went out. Silence returned. But if you're listening to this now, look around you. If there's a mirror nearby that just shivered, maybe I'm there, watching you. Thank you for listening to this story on Bong Toi Trong Dem. If it made your skin crawl, your heart race, or your curiosity awaken, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you never miss the next night of terror. See you again in another story. This video is a fictional horror narrative created purely for entertainment purposes. Designed to deliver a chilling experience to the audience, we do not promote superstition, nor encourage any dangerous acts mentioned within the story. Any resemblance to real people, locations, or events is purely coincidental. Thank you for being part of Bong Toi Trong Dem.